All right, and welcome to another video. Today we're going to be doing a slight departure from what we have been working on. We're going to talk about a slightly different topic today. Today we're going to talk about Arduinos. An Arduino is a fairly cheap microcontroller that you can buy. This is an Arduino Uno here that we're showing on the screen. They're very handy for doing prototyping and small DIY projects. I often get asked what an Arduino is by, when I'm out recruiting for the school or just in general. So I thought I would do a video on a quick introduction to Arduinos and 3 different ways to actually program that microcontroller to do a hello world style thing. So we're going to look at 3 different languages that we can use to program the Arduino today. The first being Arduino Studio, which uses the Sketch language. In the back end, Arduino sketches are C++, but they kind of wrap it in their own little language called Sketch. We're going to look at straight C programming for that microcontroller, and we're going to look at the new kid on the block, which is Rust. So let's get started. One of the first things you can do if you really want to know about Arduinos is go to the arduino.cc webpage. This is the homepage for the Arduino microcontroller stuff. You can download Arduino Studio, learn about a bunch of different things with the Arduinos on here. It's a very informative website, so I encourage you to go visit that. But we're going to start by firing up our Arduino Studio, and we've already done a new sketch here, so I'm just going to do a file, save as, and then we're going to go put this someplace useful. Drive D, YouTube channel, put it in Arduino Hello World, and I've created a sketch folder. And I'm just going to call this Hello World. So we'll call our sketch Hello World. Now what we're planning on doing with this sketch is basically I'm going to do the traditional Hello World, and the way we'll implement that, since there's no display on the Arduino, obviously, the way we will implement that Hello World is we'll use the serial port. So the Arduino's got a built-in serial port. You can connect it externally to these 2 pins, or it also will connect to this other little Arduino chip right here and use this as a USB to serial. So this basically gets recognized as a COM port on your system. So if we look at our device manager here, there we go, and we look under ports, we'll see that my Arduino Uno came in as COM5. We need to note that for later. So that's all good. So first things first, let's write some code. So first thing I got to do, you'll notice it's already blinking because I've already written some code, but you'll notice there's an onboard LED here. That LED is tied to pin 13 of this chip. So first thing I'm going to do is create a define called LED and just set that to 13. That way I've got a define for which pin my LED's on. So in addition to printing out Hello World, I also want to make that LED blink since it's an embedded project. Now, there's a couple things here. We've got a setup function and we've got a loop function. The setup function is just that. It's responsible for setting up the hardware the way we want it. And then the loop function is what gets ran repeatedly over and over and over and over again. So a couple things we got to do in our setup function. the first thing we got to do is we got to enable the UART. And we do that just by saying serial.begin. This will use the Arduino's serial library to use that serial port, and we'll just set that for 9600 baud. The other thing we got to do is we got to set that LED to be a output so that I can turn it on or off to light that LED up or not. So we'll just say pin mode. That sets the mode of that pin that it's on. Remember, we defined LED to be 13, so pin mode for pin 13, we're going to make that an output. And then we just got to do some pretty simple stuff in our loop here. We're going to do a serial.println. This will just print a line to the screen. We'll just say hello sketch world. The other thing we want to do is we want to turn that LED on. So let's do a digital write. So we're going to write to that pin. The pin we're writing to is the LED pin. We want to set it high so it turns on. Now, just for fun, we want to make it blink. So let's do a delay. Oh, let's make it 250 milliseconds. And then we're going to do another digital write to the LED, setting it low. And then we'll do one more delay of 250 milliseconds. And then we'll loop back around and print hello sketch world again, and then turn our LED on, wait 250 milliseconds, turn it off, wait 250 milliseconds. You see how this loop is going. It's a fairly simple program. So let me just save this really quick, and then I can go ahead and verify. This will compile the sketch. You can see that happening down here in the bottom. We're compiling our sketch. Okay, and my fat fingers gave us a typo, so we'll fix that typo really quick. And we'll go ahead and recompile. All right, after I got all of the typos fixed, we now have our program compiling. The next thing we got to do, under tools, we need to make sure that our board is set to our Arduino Uno, which it is. If not, we could go select our Arduino Uno or whichever board you have. The other thing is we got to make sure that our COM port is set. So mine is set for COM5. We checked that out already. So with that, we are actually ready to upload this program into the Arduino. So we'll go ahead and hit that upload button. And while that is uploading, compiling and uploading here, I'll go ahead and bring up the board so we can kind of see it. It's going to recompile the sketch here one more time, and then it will actually upload the code. There we go. You can see it's uploading. Oh, no, we're still compiling. There we go. Now we're uploading. And all right, I was having a little bit of trouble with my USB hub. Now it's finished uploading, and we can see our LED is blinking much, much faster. And we'll notice that the TX line is on pretty solid because we're sending things fairly quickly. I can go back here to tools, and I can open up my serial monitor, and that will open up our serial monitor, and then we will see hello sketch world coming from our thing about every 500 milliseconds. That's every half second. See our blinky LED. So that is a quick introduction to Arduino Studio and Sketch. So that's basically hello world. Taken up a step, we're writing hello world as well as blinking an LED, which is the embedded equivalent of hello world.